We are now joined with Steve Campbell, the head coach of South Alabama. If you have a question for Coach Campbell, please dial *1 on your phone at this time. Again, *1 to get in the queue to ask questions of Coach Campbell. Coach, while we're waiting for that, would you mind starting us off with an opening statement?
Yeah. This past week we, had a disappointing loss to Louisiana Tech, which, anytime you turn the ball over 4 times, you're not going to be able to beat a good football team. We dug ourselves into too big of a hole, but, to be able to dig out of. But I was, proud of the way that the guys, fought back, and we were able to, couldn't get anything generated, offensively there in the first half. And then, once we did, we had a turnover down inside the red zone on the 10-yard line on the first and goal. And, early, or the game could have been a little bit different, but we hurt ourselves, shot ourselves in the foot with the turnovers and a couple of key penalties that hurt us. Rebounded, played much better in the second half. I think we outscored them, in the third and fourth quarters. We just dug ourselves into too big of a hole. Now we flip the script and go to a great Oklahoma State football team. This is a team that this past week, I think they led at one time. It was 31-0, wound up pulling away. I think played a lot of young guys, but they had, close to 800 yards of offense this past week, well over 700. And when their ones were in there defensively, they pretty much shut down Missouri State. So, another big test for us, but it's one that we're looking forward to. Teams typically make their most improvement between week 1 and week 2, and we need to make sure that we do that. But we're excited about the opportunity to go play a very good Oklahoma State team and get a W.
Thank you very much, Coach. Our first questions come from Dan McDonald with The Advocate. Please go ahead, Dan.
Morning, Coach. Your guys ran for about 217 yards, 3 scores. Was that something going in? You thought you'd be able to run the football? And one more question while I have you. Do you know how many true freshmen that you played, and how are you taking advantage of the new rule that allows players to still redshirt even though they could play in as many as 4 games?
Yeah. Well, we knew we had to be able to run the football. We're young up front. I had 4 of my 5 offensive linemen got their first start the other night. And, 3 of them got their first, and there were 5 guys in all that played offensive line that had never played in a college football game before. So we knew you didn't want to drop back and repeatedly against those guys. Knew we needed to be able to run the football to put ourselves in the best position to have a chance to win. True freshmen, we played, I don't know, a handful of true freshmen, but I don't know the exact number. But we're trying to, I'm treating it like a pitch count, like you would, in a Little League baseball tournament. If you got to play a guy to win the game, or you're in a situation, then you go ahead and play him. If you don't have to, well, then you save those 4 games for next week and the next week and the next week. And then hopefully you get to a point where those guys are more ready to play when you need them. So we didn't play any just to play them. We're going to try to, save our pitching for later if we possibly can.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Dan. And
thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach. That's all the questions we have for you today. We do appreciate your time.